Listen, that voice right there, Heather B.
Talk to me,
Can
homie.
you even believe it?
No.
You got to go back and watch that video.
You got to go back, baby.
It looks a trip when I look at it. Oh, my God, I went back. I never watched the interviews we do, but I was like, yo, Gabby is coming up. And I was just trying to do the math in my head of how long I known this young lady.
Crazy.
And I remember the first time seeing her, she redid that Alicia Keys song.
Yep.
And you might have been 10.
Goodness.
Yep.
10 years of age. And then I remember Suzette Williams, the legendary executive business mogul that comes from publishing in the record industry, my sister.
Let them know.
Her daughter. Told us about, hey, Uncle Sway, do you know this incredible artist that's coming from the Bay? I know every artist that's coming from the Bay Area, but but I didn't know the name at the time.
Gotcha.
Because this brilliant marketing genius who goes by the name of Gabby Wilson had a plan of her own that nobody probably really understood when she switched up her identity and then created this movement of who she is, but extended, called H.E.R. Having everything revealed? Is that it?
Yes, exactly.
Having everything revealed. That volume 1 came out in 2016.
Crazy.
Right? We're in 2022, 6 years later. When you saw her, it was a silhouette on the cover. And then when you saw her with the shades on and the glasses, which was genius because you didn't have to just focus on her amazing beauty. You had to focus on her talent and what she had to say. Something happened, citizens. Something happened. I don't know what it was, but Heather and I went to go see the final taping of Beauty and the Beast streaming on Disney Plus right now. And I saw our niece, Heather. I told her she's our niece. She's my niece. Playing the role of Belle. First African-American Filipino woman to do it. Round of applause for that.
Crazy. That's sick. Sick.
Big.
Sick.
And I thought it was so poetic that in that last scene, when you see the scene, since it's streaming now, I'm not giving up nothing.
Oh, well.
Am I?
It's streaming on
it's
December 15th.
Oh.
My daddy's
You about
birthday.
to tell.
Come on, man.
Houseway. Houseway. Damn.
We're all about to give up the goods.
Don't do it.
Wow.
Don't do it.
You can't, homie.
I'm not going to do it now.
Good thing
But
she jumped in.
Yes, it is. But there's something that happened in that scene that I think correlates to what's happening to Gabby Wilson in real life. When I saw you at the after party that you paid for out of your pocket for all your castmates to come celebrate the finale of this major, huge, historical event, Beauty and the Beast, when Gabby walked in the room, she was dancing.
I remember that.
She was doing a spiritual dance.
Almost hitting the gritty mixed with the spiritual.
It was like,
I said, what?
Who is that? And it caught me off guard because she was like, dance with me.
Yes.
And my rhythm wasn't right that day.
Your shoulders
I was tired.
Your shoulders was messed up.
Tired.
You gotta oil the knees up,
Your
boy.
knees, you know.
Oil them up.
It's been years, Gabby. You know. And I said something, and I told my sister, and I told you, I know that young lady has to be happy because she's living her dream, but I ain't never saw that energy come from her since she's been in the business, since I've known her in the business. Something happened, and I'm glad it did because she has arrived. Give it up for the one and only Gabby Wilson, a.k.a.
Let's go. Greatness in the building. We up.
Did I mention the Academy Award? Did I mention that?
Hey, you gotta keep saying it though. You
Did I
gotta keep
mention
saying
all the
it.
Grammys? Did I mention that?
Grammy life.
Did I mention the Billboard Awards? I don't know if I mentioned
God
that. Did I mention the BET Awards? Did I mention that?
No.
Did I mention the H.E.R Festival in Northern California? Did I mention that? Gabby Wilson.
Yes.
All right, Sue. I'm ready to go to bed.
Man,
Yo,
what an introduction.
you deserve more. You are, when I remember the first interview, we was calling you a prodigy and all these different amazing words. I don't know if it's words there's one word that could really be appointed to, I think, who you are as an artist, as a voice. You know, you said Beauty and the Beast. I saw you talking to our good friend Michael Strahan, and you talked about wanting to be able to see somebody that looked like you in these roles. And now you are in this role. How does that feel for you? Because now kids, Filipino girls and black girls from all over the world get to see somebody that look like them.
It's really special, and it's something, you know, that I wish I had. So it's really, really cool that I don't know that I could be that. Yeah. You know, and I can kind of be the bridge between like the Philippines and, you know, Filipino and black girls and mainstream, you know, like it's such a big deal to be a Disney princess. Because I'm sure there's young black girls, young Filipino girls, I don't think they could even be Disney princesses because they don't see it. So it's really dope, and it's so much fun, and I'm walking different, I'm talking different. You know,
did you just pop your collar sway?
It did something to me, so my bad.
That's okay.
No, don't worry about that. You got money now. You can fix that for us.
No, I'm feeling really blessed, and the timing couldn't have been better. So
why you say that?
Because you know, with the first project, as you said, like I've really been in the shadows, and I kept it about the music, and now I'm able to lock into all the other things that I love, and people can get to know the person behind the music. And, you know, people that really know me know like this Disney princess thing is super fitting. Like I'm a huge Disney fanatic. Like I'm super animated when I'm not like chilling. So I'm excited for people to get to really know me.
Wow, man. You're such a beautiful spirited person, and you're a beautiful niece. You're a beautiful young lady.
Yeah.
And I realize I'm looking at you without your glasses on. And Gabby said to me in the hallway, "Hey, I took mine off when you put yours on."
No, you put mine on.
What do you mean?
You stole those from me.
Don't do that.
Those
here.
really are yours?
Don't get petty. Not in front of the.
Now that I think of it, it would probably look.
Thank you,
Gab.
on you. She know what she
Damn,
knows.
Gabby, you got a salad off her, Heather. But so, how is that for you now, facing your public without glasses? How has that felt for you?
It's kind of crazy. I feel like before, you know, when I would walk around like this, people would be like, "That looks like," and it's a weird thing. It's like now people are looking at me and they're like, "Is it? That can't be her. She ain't got no glasses on." You know? So, I don't know. I was really kind of hiding in plain sight. It made a really big difference. But now people can see my baby face and really see me.
See, that's what I love about it, though, to me, Gabs, because they say like the eyes are the window to the soul.
Right.
And is your soul different now? Like, is it different? Do you feel different?
You know, I feel different because of many, many reasons right now. I feel like this year, being 25, I've just gone through a lot of different things, and I've gone through a lot of personal growth and change, and it's all been really, really good because I'm still who I am. I think I'm more who I am than I've ever been, honestly.
Amen.
But you know, to me, my music was the window to my soul, and that's been great. And I think that is what brought like my core fans who always be there with me. But there's a bigger world out there for me, and I'm excited for. I don't know. I'm excited to see that and experience that, and for people to experience who I am.
I love this.
Me too.
Love it.
Did you say 25?
Yes.
Shit, how you 25 and I'm still 30? How that happen?
Because you lying. She's telling the truth, and you 30 because you lying. That's how.
Truth is different.
Because you're aging backwards.
Thank you, Gabby.
You 30
I
and sway
appreciate
years.
that.
We look the same as we did the first time we talked.
Ain't that something?
You know,
though?
that's what it is.
That's that Bay Area air.
Exactly.
What we inhale is different. For Heather's from Jersey, so you can imagine what they inhale.
It's different. We got that red man water, that naughty by nature dirt. I'm grimy, y'all. Y'all know.
Well, on that topic though, just of like looking different. I mean, obviously going back to 2016 when you were 19,
Goodness.
right? which is so wild if you think of 19 compared to 25,
Yeah,
right?
it's a big difference.
And us on the outside, we see all your external changes, right? And Heather touched on the internal a little bit. I'm wondering what aspects of you from the inside have stayed the same versus what has changed. And even if your music from that first EP, are there songs that still are accurate of who you are now? And which songs just feel like they're so different from the Gabby of today?
It's crazy. That's a great question. And there's multiple answers to that question. I think there's so many songs that are still relevant to today. There's certain songs I'm like, man, that was such a crazy time and I'm not there anymore. And then there's other songs I'm like, oh yeah, that still hit the same, you know? But it's I don't think I've changed in the way, I don't know how to explain it. It's it's really been in the beginning of this whole thing, in the beginning of my career, I really was super unapologetic and very much excited and nervous, and it was new. And when you first coming into the first project, the first shows, it's really, really exciting because the pressure's not there yet. And the opinions aren't there yet because nobody cares until everybody cares. And when everybody cares, it's you start to, or at least for me, I started to try to either repeat what I did or if I make the wrong move now, then I'm going to fail. Or if I don't do this, then, this won't be a career for me anymore. And it's all the talk and all the guilt of, you're not going to be making that much money for the rest of your life. You don't know what's going to happen. It's all that guilt, it creates this perfectionist, and I was already a perfectionist, and I was growing comfortable in being imperfect and embracing my flaws, and that is what got me here in the first place, and being super authentic and unafraid. And I feel like it started to kind of do the reverse, where I was okay, I gotta, you know what I mean, and that totally went against everything that I believed. Not that I've ever, been disingenuous, but I think I was so focused on always doing the right thing that I didn't focus on what felt right for me.
That makes sense.
And it's people around you can make you feel oh, well, don't do that, because if you do that, then you got to do this. And then if you do this, and it's it's just no way to live. And I couldn't even be vulnerable, and I couldn't even listen to my own voice, except in the studio, where I could really just be. But it's got to be that way all around. And I'm coming into that. And I can now say I'm proud of the woman I'm becoming. And I know life is going to be like this.
Wow, that's
Yes.
dope.
But
Amen.
it wasn't like that, so.
Yeah, the expectations, man, they will cause suffering.
Yeah, and you got to trust yourself and sometimes be nah, this is what I want in this moment, and that's okay. And if I make a mistake, at least it's on my own terms. And I used to say that, but now I really know that to be true.
Yes.
And it's even, I would add, not that I'm a woman, but I've been in the business for decades, and I've always supported, especially black women in the business. And it's even harder what you're talking about on a woman, with these expectations. And then a lot of women artists don't feel like they have the permission to do some of the things you've done to get to where you are.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
It's really tough, but stand your ground. Don't take no for an answer. Don't compromise yourself. And it's funny because I've said these things for years, but I'm saying this for me now. But yeah, I think it's so important, to pay attention. Somebody told me, pay attention to those immediate no's and those immediate yeses, because sometimes you ignore that immediate no or yes, and then you settle into and you try to convince yourself, or people try to convince you of something you may actually be uncomfortable with. And then for a long time, if you keep saying yes when the answer is no, it just becomes automatic, and you stop listening to yourself, and you stop paying attention to yourself, and you don't even know what you want anymore, and you have to figure out wait a minute. So don't even put yourself through that process. Be fearless with your voice, and know that you have a voice, because people make you feel especially in this industry, in this business, people make you feel it doesn't matter until the lights are on, the cameras are on. But behind closed doors, it's like, no, you don't know. You haven't done anything, or you don't know any better. You know, you're just like, no, you know what's right for you. So trust yourself.
I love it. Ooh, the 25-year-old Gabby Wilson is up here. I'm my notepad at. We taking those down. We're going to open up these phone lines, 888-742-3345. This is a celebration.
Yes.
Gabby is starring as Belle on the 30th anniversary special of Beauty and the Beast.
Crazy.
Streaming now on Disney.
Not now.
15.
The
What is wrong with you,
December
Sway?
15th.
You too hype.
December
I'm too hype.
15th.
Too amped up. He gonna be home crying on the 15th. He gonna be home crying on his couch. Y'all see Gabby? The Bay HB is different.
Where I Go is out now. Where I Go is out now. Let's play that. We coming back with Gabby Wilson, 888-742-3345. Let's vibe out, y'all. Yay Area is in the building. We on top, yo. Bay Area, we up. Bay Area, we up. We up. Yes, indeed. They paid off. That was Gabriella Wilson accepting the Oscar Award for Fight for You for Judas and the Black Messiah. And she's here with us today, a.k.a. H.E.R. I was calling you Gabby. That's who you was in your first iteration of who you are. And then it became H.E.R. And now it's Gabriella.
Yeah, well, you know, I go back and forth. I'm going to be her a little bit, then I'm going to be Gabriella, then I'm going to be her again, then I'm going to be Gabriella, you know?
Yeah.
What's the difference between all three?
You know, I really feel like Gabby was my young self. That's like my family calls me that. And then as I got older, everybody started calling me G, and then I was her. And then, you know, I wanted to be introduced as Gabriella as an actress. You know, I think
that's dope.
That's really important. And yeah, it's just time for people to really get to know me.
I did that too, Gabriella.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
You accepted an Academy Award?
No.
Just checking.
No, you know, I used to be MC Sway, right? And then I went by Sway of Sway and King Tech. And then when I did Stomp the Yard, or what's the other ones I did?
Who you played in Stomp the Yard? Let's watch this game. Who you played in Stomp the Yard?
I was Sway.
What about Empire?
I was Sway.
What about Luke Cage?
I was Sway.
Okay, just check
And who are you today?
Sway Calloway. You see what I'm doing? You see what I did? Sway Calloway. So when I would start putting Sway Calloway.
for acting.
Bay Area be thinking alike. That's what it is.
So I love that you mentioned your family, because I had opportunity through you, thank you, and Uzi, aka Suzette, to hang out, to meet like Gabby's mom, and I met her dad years ago, and her aunt in particular, and I watched how she is around her family, and you can see where that love and that authenticity comes from, like just being around family, you know. But then I'm watching her work as well, and I notice she's on tour, opening up, doing dates, and then I'm like, she has appearances to make and doing Disney. How in the world do you manage your time? Because I'm like, Uzi, she ready? Did she study? Like, does she know her lines? And we're on the set. She invited us down to the set, to the Disney lot, and I'm watching. I'm like, this is incredible. Because of everything that you're doing. When do you find time to like rest and chill and then work? How do you do it?
Ooh, I don't even know. Youth? No.
I'm young.
I think she's stunning on us, Torch. All these old dudes, you know.
Just kidding. No, I think for a long time I wasn't prioritizing the things that were important to me, and I kind of was just going, and I didn't know it was okay to take a break. And I think I'm now learning that it's okay to prioritize the things that are important to you, to prioritize rest. If anything, you can't even be your full self if you're not fully rested.
That
part. But I do a lot, and I love it. You know what I'm saying? And so that keeps me going. But I did 2 tours and a movie, and I was being a Disney princess all while dealing. Thank you.
Yeah, you deserve that.
All while, you know, just dealing with personal things and having to just like keep my game face, you know. But yeah, it was crazy. It was like tour, and then I got to a certain point where I was in Europe for 2 months, and I was like, I kind of want to go home. This is really hard, but I came home, and my mom was waiting there, for me, and
beautiful.
Shout out to your mom.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Kenny Wilson.
Shout out to your
Kenny
dad.
Wilson put on them boards, some keyboards.
Yeah.
And shout out to your aunt. What's your aunt's name?
Joanne.
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 Yo, that's my homie.
Yo, you got everybody had a Filipino aunt named Joanne.
That's
Word,
true.
for real?
That's true.
Yeah, that's a
You from the Bay.
Yo,
That's
fun
some-
family.
She's funny.
Can you speak to your relationship? I love daddy-daughter relationships.
Oh,
I'm a,
yeah.
What am I? What they call us?
Girl
Girl
dad.
I'm a girl dad.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
speak to that and how that has been? I like to think my daughter told me, made me feel like I'm a blanket of security for her when she's out in the world, even though I'm not present.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your dynamic with your father?
Man, I don't want to get emotional because I love my dad so much. Like, he was my best friend. Still is, growing up. Like, every time I had a question, he had an answer.
Yeah.
And I would ask him, like, who invented candy? He was like, dentists, and I was like,
Dentist, I'm dying.
I said, Dad, I think I want to be a lawyer. What's a lawyer? He said, a professional liar. I was like,
Oh.
So, my dad is funny. He's the king of dad jokes. I didn't take that seriously, by the way. No offense, lawyers.
Okay.
But he was my biggest fan. Like, when I tell you, my dad thought the world of me. Like, my kid is the most talented kid in the world, the universe, and she's gonna be da-da. Like, if anybody saw anything that's happening now, it was him. And
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
try not to get emotional.
No, that's okay.
And
man.
he taught you how to play instruments as well, correct?
Yeah, he taught me because he even talks about it. Like, he learned how to play Alicia Keys songs on piano, and it took him months. And then when he taught me, he was like, "It took you days,"
Wow.
Yeah, and it got to a point where I had to be like, "Okay, Dad, like, I'm gonna spread my wings, and do my thing." And I think that was really hard for him.
Broke his heart.
Every
put it
little
that
girl
way.
kind of does that at some point. I hate to break it to you, but
Oh, it's happening.
it's like you grow up and you pray that all the tools and all the lessons you instilled in your child takes them, where they need to go, and they're gonna make mistakes, and you have to be okay with that. And that was hard for him. That was really hard for him, and we got to a point where it was just tough. Like, it was tough, and I didn't understand certain things that he had been fearful of.
Yeah.
And I think part of that was God, because I needed to learn a lot of lessons, and I needed to figure out who I was going to be without my dad, trying to protect me all the time.
Right.
Because he's not always going to be there, and that's okay. And we're so tight now.
Yeah.
We are so tight now. Like, that's my homie. That's my best friend, and we fish together all the time. He comes to the
Wow.
house. I have a new little sister now, a little sister. So
Yeah.
that's really cool to see him, in that way
Kenny
again.
still playing seeds, huh?
It's still working. Still working out here. I don't know what's going on. But it was tough, and I realized the further I get from toxicity, the closer I get to my family.
Oh my gosh, you about to tear me up.
Bars.
Man. I swear, and
Come
I'm not being facetious. You just helped give me some clarity on my relationship with my daughter, who's 24. Going on 25, same age, and I came in last night, and she got her own place near me, but when I'm not in town, she'll go stay at my place. She didn't know I was coming back in town, so I came back in town last night, 11 something, and I opened the door, and the chain is on my door. I'm like, hey, she's here. You know what I mean? I knew she was there, and then we sat up later than I wanted to, but it's just something that thank you. You gave me some clarity, because we've gone through that transition of having to let go and let them wings spread, but still, these dudes got to go through whoever she decides to date got to go through a filter. So Gabriella, let Kenny stand and be that filter
That's
too.
right.
Okay, I'm
That's
there
right.
too. I'm Uncle Swiggity, so you bring him to me.
Yeah.
All right, so listen, this is my cousin Rap. He's from the town.
Hey,
There
what's
ain't-
up?
There ain't much more town than here. Okay, tell her where you came up. What area you from?
East Oakland, 85th.
Okay,
area,
East
yeah.
Oakland.
Yeah. And so he has a really great podcast called No Vultures. And he's been putting in this work for years, and we've been talking about it for years, and he took matters into his own hands.
Dope.
And there's no other platform that really can explain Bay Area artist history, independent artist history, as well as he does. He does deep dives. You know, he was like earlier, hey, you know that Nick Cannon paid for some piano lessons. Is that true?
You know what's crazy? Nick Cannon actually he let me use his studio every day after school, and his engineers. Nobody knows this, and I love Nick because he really saw something in me, and he wanted to do music with me, and he would like find samples, and it was really funny time. But I was like 14, and I lived in LA with my dad, and every day after school I would be in the studio, and he'd be right there, and he'd be letting me just use his studio.
Nick
And
Cannon.
he doesn't get the credit that he deserves, so thank you, Nick.
Same with Kalani.
Thank you.
You know, Nick.
Yeah, it's crazy because Kaylani and I, we've known each other since we were kids, and we were in a band together with Dwayne Wiggins' son
you
from
Pop
Tony
Life.
Tony Tone. Pop Life, exactly.
Wait a minute.
And you know how we got the name? We used to do the song Pop Life by Prince.
Yes.
Boom, get, boom, get, boom,
Pop
get. Exactly.
Life.
Yeah.
What's the matter with
Exactly.
your girl?
Exactly.
Hey.
Exactly.
Go Sway.
So we,
Thank you, Gabby. I be telling him he can't sing.
You know.
He called me a hater.
All right. So yeah, we used to be in a group together, and then I left the group and kind of did my own thing. But me and Kaylani kept in touch, and I remember me and Nick were talking because she was on America's Got Talent with the group, and he was like, "Oh yeah, where's Kaylani?" And I was like, "She's in Oakland," and he was like, "Oh well, connect me to her." And my dad talked to her mom and her aunt and was like, "Can Kaylani?" Because we were minors at the time. She was like a teenager. "Can she come to LA?" And she came to LA, and I moved out at that point, and we stayed in contact. I remember when my song played on the radio, then her song came on the radio. We were like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy!" So
Wow.
it's crazy to see where we are now, and I'm so proud of her and happy for her.
Nick Cannon.
Shout out to Ray, too. Ray
Yeah, shout
Brown.
out
What
to
up,
Ray.
what up, Ray?
So Rap, on behalf of No Vultures, do you have a question for Gabriella?
I absolutely do. Well, first of all, I want to say we super proud of you in
Oh,
the Bay.
thank
Like,
you.
just super proud of you. And coming from a city that went bankrupt. Don't let that go over nobody's head.
that's right.
She come from a city that went bankrupt, so it's not a lot of opportunity coming out of her city. And so what I wanted to know is, how do you translate what we call in the Bay Area isms, right? So how do you slide, right? So we have such a regional sound that sometimes it don't translate to the rest of the world. But somehow you, La Russell, Simba, people like that of that stature have been able to translate how we are, our behavior, how we talk, how we dance, you guys have been able to translate that over to the rest of the world. And I just wanted to know, how are you able to do that so seamlessly? Because Slide is like basically a slowed down hyphy song.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's exactly what it
And
is.
in fact, my little homie was in the video on 85th. I didn't know you guys was there. Yeah,
That's
he was on a
crazy.
bike. Yeah,
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's
so
dope.
I really want to know, how do you do that? Like, how do you make the rest of the world, come to your world or our world and understand what's going on?
I feel like we've been one of the biggest influences, though, because
Facts.
people, they try to be like, they low-key know the hyphy movement, even if they don't know the hyphy movement. You know what I'm saying? But I grew up on all that stuff. Like, it's just a part of my DNA. So it's like kind of the approach even to my first project is paying attention to what's going on in the world today and bringing your energy into that, and you invite people in. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, it's like you're kind of bringing people into your world, and like you said, it's a slow down hyphy song, but it's got different elements in it, and the cadence is a little bit. It's Bay Area, but it's got so many other aspects of it. It kind of has a bit of East Coast flavor. You know what I mean? But it also has that like cool, laid back thing. And then YG brought the LA thing. So it's like, I think there's a few different elements in there mixed with the foundation of the Bay Area, where people could appreciate and be like, wait, I'm feeling this. I know this. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's about bringing the fun because that's really what it is. Like going stupid, dumb, and hyphy is like just
Stupid,
fun.
dumb,
It's going
and
crazy.
hyphy.
Like you know, that's that Bay Area that's just always gonna be part of who I am.
Let's let that slap real quick. We gonna come back with some callers and some mystery sack. Okay, Shade 4-5. Up all night. When we gon' I'm getting in that studio with that something.
Give him a spotlight.
Give me something.
Get me something.
Something, Gabriella. Let me get on the tail end. I can talk some bass shit on one of your songs.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean? And hopefully it get nominated for a Grammy.
And for intro of the year, Sway. Sway.
Yo, I'm gonna be on stage quicker than Gabriella. I mean, hey, yo, what's up? I want to thank the team. You know,
The Academy.
Oh wow. Okay, we got on the line right now. Who we got? We got
that?
Chris from the Bay Area. Chris,
Yeah,
what up?
yeah, yeah.
Chris?
What up, Chris?
Hey, Chris.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Chris.
First time caller, long time listener of the show, and
Let's
of you,
go.
Sway, in general, since you're follow for nowadays, man. MC Sway. King Tech.
That was my hit record.
Yep.
It no nominations, no Billboard.
Just vibes.
I thought it hit.
Nah, that was the bump. Yeah, man. That breaking to that song was, man. That was the
Yeah,
that was
thank
the
you,
move.
bro.
But yeah, no problem. Gabby, I just I wanted to congratulate you on your journey. I'm
Thank
Filipino.
Hey.
Yeah, I have a black wife with talented Malaysian kids. Sway, I got a daughter too, 9 years old. So I'm a girl dad too.
Well, according to
love it.
Gabriella, she's gonna break your heart. So
Oh
get
my
ready
God.
for it.
Stop it. That's
Hey,
awesome.
I had to walk out of the gym during that whole dad thing. I was getting glossy eyed. I had
Sway
to get
was
back in
too.
the car.
Aw.
You should have saw Rap Face, because that's his daughter standing behind him, and she turning 16 tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy
So,
birthday. But that's amazing. ¿Cómo está? You speak
Yeah.
Tagalog?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. I been talking Tagalog since I was little, but yeah, I just wanted to congratulate you. But I wanted to mention, we caught on to you early because of Dobo Nation at
Wow.
TFC, and my longtime homie Pete Alexander. I know you know him.
Yes.
He's my
He used to
grade
shoot
school
my
buddy.
videos when I was a kid.
He used to shoot
Yeah,
your
their
video.
home videos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
on the
crazy.
piano, sing like all these instruments that this little girl was playing, and I'm just watching. And then now I have this daughter. I'm trying to follow in the footsteps of you,
Aw.
and also shout out to your parents on the way they handled your business and how they brought you up
Thank you.
behind the
Yeah.
scenes. Because I know it's a lot of work. I know it's a lot.
Hey,
of
Chris,
work.
you got a question, Chris?
She cool for
Nah, man, I'm just
Oh,
dabbling.
Thank you.
I
Thank
do.
you, Chris.
No, because Sway, you gotta understand, girl dad. I'm a dance dad, so I'm like, I go back and forth to LA, and so like I really try to follow what she's doing, and
Wow.
Gabby, ask Chris a question. Just interview him. Go ahead.
Gabby with Gab.
shout out, babe. Hey, I'm happy. I'm on my energy drink. So, I know my daughter's gonna be listening to this too. My wife, shout
What's
out
your
to
daughter's
my
name?
wife, Nurse Temple.
What's your daughter's name?
Kai
Kai.
Boogie.
Hey, Kai.
Yeah.
Man, you just
I
won.
guess, yeah, I just want to, my question is,
Oh,
what
my
you got a
gosh.
question.
Just say the question. Say
Yeah.
nothing else but the question right now, Chris. Go ahead.
Woo! What advice do you have for her as she tries to strive, working her way up to your level in the industry?
Oh man. Number one, just trust yourself and have fun. Like that's the main thing. And also keep your business and your personal separate. That's a big thing. And it's good to know when you're young. That's a big thing. And stay close to your family. And make sure you give her the space to grow. That's my advice for you also in her career, but absolutely be there.
Hey, Chris, you're a citizen, brother.
Sway in the morning.
I put you on hold, Chris, because I knew you was going to talk over that.
Thank you,
Don't do
Chris.
that.
Okay, Chris.
I gave her the-
No, that's over. You're a citizen. That means it's over. Bye. All right. Jeez.
Bye, Chris.
That wasn't the
you.
cue to keep talking. Let me ask you this. I've always believed in Uzi, could vouch for it, that you're very business savvy. I know so now. If you could give folks who've come from the independent game to the major game on the level that you've reached, based on your experiences, 3 solid things to look for, advice that you give about business, what would it be?
Number 1, there are no stupid questions. Ask all the questions and find out the answer. No matter what, always find out the answer. There are no stupid questions. That's number 1. Okay, number 2, read your contracts. Come to the meetings. Find out all the meetings that are happening. Make sure you're at the meetings. Yeah, no matter what, like make time for that.
So people take meetings without you on your behalf.
I
mean, you never know.
Right?
You never know what could happen. Things happen, or maybe you can't make it, but try to be there. Okay. Try to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's number 2, and man, there's so many other things I could say, but it's really just like know your value. Like, because that's important, to walk into a room and not feel like you need everybody. It's like working as a team is so important. And I feel like people always think you got to be the boss, but being a boss and being a leader means being able to be a team player and being able to work as a team and not seeing yourself as above anybody or people that work for you. Everybody works. To me, people work with me. Like, I don't like to say people work for me. They work with me because I wouldn't even be able to function without the moving parts, without the village, without the people. So, yeah, be a team player and, yeah, just like be a boss, be a leader in a way that works for you and that feels good, because people, they think, oh, I gotta be a boss, so I gotta whatever, or I gotta and that's just not that you don't have to lead like that, so
it's not healthy either.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you mention team, which I think is very important, I've started with a team over the years, and that team has changed, and it's hard to change teams. Tracy sent me a book. What's the name of that book you texted me?
I can't think of the name right now. I can grab it though.
Yeah, grab it real quick. And the title of the book really, I want to read you the title of this book, and then hold on, Tracy, I got it.
I saw it on Instagram. One of my friends had posted it, so I was just reading a bunch of her highlights, and I was like, this would be great for Sway. But the premise of it is letting go of certain things to be able to move forward in career, in your love life, in your family life. And so sometimes the equation is really subtraction versus addition.
It's called Necessary Endings.
Yes.
The employees, businesses, and relationships that all of us have to give up in order to move forward.
I'm about to put that in my cart on Amazon.
By Dr. Henry Cloud.
We can do a book club.
Okay, right. I'll get on that today. That's a really striking title.
Right.
But Necessary Endings is exactly what it is. It's necessary. Well, listen, it's nothing personal, and that's why I even told Mr. Chris, keep the business and personal separate, because it's not personal. You have to do what you have to do to grow, and people who really love you and who really believe in you will understand. And it will be tough in the beginning, but they will understand, and they will just want you to be happy and want you to grow into the person that you need to be. And you can't carry, what do you call it, dead weight. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that, because if you're being weighed down, how can you bring anybody else up? So you got to be good before anything.
Yes.
Because you can't bring people up if you're not okay. And that's a big thing, and of course, relationships are relationships. Some people, it just doesn't work, or, things change. You change. People change every day. I'm different than I was 6 months ago. If you knew me 6 months ago, you don't know me. You know what I'm saying? You don't know me. Because I'm who I will always be at the core, and thank God for my mother. The first thing she always tells me, stay humble, all this stuff is great. She's super proud, but that's the first thing she say, like, be who you are, like, stay true to yourself and be humble, be grateful, pray every night. And so that's a big thing. And with that guiding you, you're not going to make the wrong decisions. And if you do, it's okay.
Yes.
Man, Gabriella Wilson is here, man. I like saying your name. It kind of flows.
It's kind of weird. I'm like,
Yeah, you keep hearing it. We'll get used to it, you know. We got time, too. How much time I got? 5, 10, 3 minutes?
3.
That's
Damn.
It,
Necessary ending.
Okay.
well, is there anything you want to say to us, though? Is it anything you want people to know?
Necessary indeed.
Is there
I'm
anything?
take it
busy. I'm
personal.
booked and busy. You know, I'm a Disney princess, so I got Disney princess duties.
Hello.
Goodbye,
Yeah,
Sway.
You better stunt.
Goodbye,
You better stunt.
No,
Is it anything you want us to know? Or you want anything for people to look out for?
Well, even though I'm a princess, I am still in the studio. So
Okay.
the
Yeah.
music is coming. But mostly, thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Like, really,
thank you.
from just, you've helped me so much. And I've been, on all these different TV shows and stuff. And I'm just, very princess-like. But I know here I can say whatever the hell I want.
That's
So
right.
It makes me feel really good and free. And I'm just super, super excited for the future.
Okay.
Dope.
That's all it is.
Man, Gabriella Wilson, before you leave,
We can do it quick.
Oh, and also, The Color Purple is coming out next year. So you're going to see Gabriella as Belle, and you're going to see Gabriella as Squeak.
you going to be Squeak?
I am.
You playing Squeak?
I
Wait,
am.
was that Ray Don Chunk?
Yes,
Yes.
it was.
Wow.
Squeak
Yeah.
got knocked out by Oprah.
Yeah. Well,
Who's going to punch you?
Fantasia.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Not Fantasia. Danielle.
Danielle
Brooks.
go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not Fantasia. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. Danielle's going to
That's
punch you.
silly. Danielle go punch me.
Okay, there you go.
No, it's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Before you go, we got to do one mystery sack. I don't think we did that with you before.
She was too young.
She was too young. You couldn't do the mystery. You 25 now. That's how old Michael Jackson was when he made Thriller. Just saying.
Wow.
Let's do it. Mystery sack.
Go ahead and reach in.
Dig deep. Dig deep.
Put your hands into Sway's sack.
Yo, you pull it back up.
Mystery Sack on Shade 45.
He was
That
supposed.
nasty uncle shit.
Yeah.
TMZ, where y'all at? Fucking nasty ass way. You about to get a call from Disney, my nigga.
It's a golden sack. It's a golden
It's a
sack.
golden-
It's a magical Disney.
It's a
magical
Disney sack.
Right.
Torch was supposed to fade the word sack out. I told you specifically when she coming, don't let sack run for my niece.
Yo.
It's like you said. That's the magic. It's got magic dust in that sack. That's
Right.
different. You're
All
a
right,
princess.
Gabby, you gonna go into the magic bag, pull out.
It ain't nothing alive,
It
right?
ain't nothing
No.
live. 3 questions, one at a time. Read them out
okay,
loud, and
okay.
you have to answer honestly.
Oh boy.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm honest, so what's the most vivid memory you have interacting with a fan? Ooh, I got a ton of those. Well, honestly, this one is a lot more heartfelt because this girl came up to me and she was like, "You saved me." And I was like, "What? What do you mean?" She's like, "I was going to hurt myself and I didn't want to be here anymore, and your music got me through." And I just remember the look on her face. She started crying, I started crying, because I never knew I could do that for somebody and I could be there for somebody. So, you know, that is probably the most vivid memory I have.
Wow.
Purposeful.
A lot
Number
of
2.
tear-jerking moments in this conversation.
Sorry, get a little serious.
I still got my heart broken.
Number 2.
Okay.
Here we go. Tell the story of the first icon who really poured into you as an artist and a human. Ooh, Alicia Keys. I was like, I'm gonna be so cool when I meet her. It was my 12th birthday. I'll never forget this. The year Michael Jackson passed away.
Wow.
At the ASCAP Awards, and I was performing. I sang Unbreakable on bass, and I did something on keys, and I ended up just bawling meeting her, and she just gave me this like motherly embrace, and it just made me feel like, wow, this is crazy. Years later, we're super tight, and she allowed me to perform with her.
Wow.
And we did an Aerosmith song on this crazy stage at Central Park for Global Citizen Festival, and it was 60,000 people, and I was so nervous, and we sang, and it was crazy energy, and I did this crazy guitar solo, and we had this moment, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, and you could just see the support and the love that she has for me in that performance. And yeah, you know, even to now, the advice that she gives and just sharing experiences, and yeah, it's like I love that, you know, that she could do that for me.
Shout out to Alicia.
Keys. Come on, let's do one more.
Last one.
And they got that similar background of, you know, Alicia was young when she came in the game.
And played instruments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why I looked up to her so much. If you had to live in a foreign country for a year, which one would it be and why? That's a good question. It would probably be, I don't know. That's a tough one. I love Japan.
Okay.
I really love Japan. I think it's a really cool place. And the food is amazing. The shopping is amazing. I love Brazil. I love Brazil. I would live in Brazil. I would absolutely live in Brazil for a year because it's so beautiful. The language is cool. I'm starting to learn a little bit actually. But it's such a beautiful place. Like the beaches, the people, the food. It's a beautiful place. I would live there.
Give my niece a round of applause. I adopted you. My niece got an Academy Award. Gabriella Wilson, you are amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And I can't tell you how proud we are of you.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we learn from you.
Yes.
We learn today from you. You know, wisdom comes in all shapes, forms, and sizes, right? Don't mean I've been on the planet twice, you know, almost twice as long as you. But I could still learn from you, you know, and thank you for sharing your experiences in your career. Everybody don't share the ups and the downs.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. You humanizing the whole experience.
Yeah.
Right. And people will be educated by you. Congratulations on Belle on the 30th anniversary
Thank
of
you so
Beauty and the
much.
Beast coming out. It's streaming on Disney Plus.
December 15th.
Not now. December 15th. December 15th.
Look for The Color Purple too. That's coming out when?
Next year.
Wow.
And then she's still in the studio. I can't wait to hear what you create now. Woof. It's going to be something else. Come here, niece. Malay, come here.
Birthday girl.
It's the birthday girl.
It's the birthday girl. Shine the light on her.
Do you mind just saying happy birthday to her? Just
Happy birthday to you.
Wow.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. What's your name? Malay. Happy birthday to you.
Wow. You winning.
Give it up for Gabriella Wilson, citizens. We're going to come back with J. Period in the mix. It's Sway in the morning with Heather B, Tracy G. Lord Rab from No Vultures is here. Yes, the Bay, Gabriella Wilson. Thank you. Thank you. All right, God bless you.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
Shade 4-5 tour.